Hello, and first of all, I would like to thank the AMPS conference for the opportunity for presenting this article in such a great event as this is. We're going to talk about a study that took place 10 years ago in 2014, and it describes a pedagogical exercise, a collaboration between Porto Paralelo, an interface organization between design and traditional Porto commerce, and the BA Communication Design students from the University of Porto. This was an initiative that started in my classroom at the Faculty of Fine Arts at the University of Porto in collaboration with several entities, such as the City Council of Porto. Some of them you can see here on the left-hand side. If you don't know well the context, the slide won't tell the full story, but some of these entities are working on the preservation and revitalization of the brands and historical shops of Porto.
Porto Paralelo was a project founded in 2011 in Porto. Paralelo in Portuguese means parallel, and the idea was to shed light on old local shops, particularly those with more than 50 years of history, which were closing down daily at that time. Additionally, in Portugal, Paralelo refers to the cobblestone pavement, and most of these shops were located on downtown streets with that characteristic. Porto Paralelo began as my BA final project at the Faculty of Fine Arts, so this opportunity to work with students was also a return to a familiar place to me. After finishing my BA, I formed a team to turn Porto Paralelo into a startup, and the team gathered many disciplines and was diverse in capabilities as well as in gender, as you can see in that photo. Information was collected about 50 shops. Some of these shops belong to common commercial sectors, such as jewelry or grocery stores, while others have more exotic business types, such as enamel workshop, a seed shop, you can see a glimpse of that on the right, a cork shop, or a brush workshop. Mapping all shops with more than 50 years of activity involved many hours of work for each case, conducting unstructured interviews, which I found to be the best way to access the particularities of each case and to avoid hearing what they think I want to hear, and taking photographs of every aspect of the shop. A degree of familiarity with the shopkeepers also led to offerings of old packaging and memorabilia, which are now truly valuable as preserved heritage, especially since exactly half of these shops have since closed down. The information was then shared on a website and a mobile app, both aiming to simultaneously share the history of these shops and help new clients visit them by providing their opening hours, address, and contact details. The project is now in an evaluation period. After more than 10 years, Porto Paralelo has contributed, and still does, to the promotion of these places in the media, so they are fortunately no longer unknown to locals. With the tourism boom of recent years and rising rent prices, the situation of traditional local shops is now much more complex than it was back then. Therefore, we are now reflecting on how to share the information we gathered about the shops that have now closed, while continuing to promote those that are still open. So in this context, Porto Paralelo acts as a mediator between the students and the client, and the particularity here is, as I've pointed out before, that I already knew the shops and their shopkeepers deeply. As a designer and a former student of the Faculty of Fine Arts, I was able to help meet both sides and their expectations. It's relevant also to highlight that none of these companies had any experience dealing with designers and design projects, and also that they had done the same kind of shop windows for decades. Another relevant aspect is that we chose shops situated near the faculty, allowing students to visit easily and as often as they needed to prepare the project and to see its results.
We collaborated with 5 local businesses: Costa Real, Casa Januário, Casa Lima, Carvalho Batista, and Casa Natal, to revamp their Christmas window displays. This is Carvalho Batista, and their business was and is tools and hardware. It was a difficult field to work on at Christmas, at least from the perspective of alluring students to the task. On the positive side, we had very cooperative shop owners and really facilitators. So this is the translation of the written note in the window. Don't tell anyone, but this year Father Christmas workshop is here. Now let's go back to the leitmotif of this exercise. The reason for creating Christmas shopping windows for local businesses was the rise of shopping in malls impacting local businesses. This article aims to shed light on the initiative that contributed to promoting local purchasing during the most crucial time of the year for businesses, the Christmas season. Talking informally with the shop owners, they mentioned that Christmas represented 50% of the yearly income, and the shopping window represents 90% of the sales. So there was a big responsibility in this task. This is Casa Januário, a shop selling since 1926 fine grocery, wine, baking products, and pastries. The windows were conducted on a low budget, essentially with material from the warehouse, memories from another era, borrowed material from other shops, and any other material that was thought would contribute to a good Christmas window. Each shop staff's reaction was very different. While some were happy to see all stuff being brought forward to the shop floor, some others reacted to the somehow minimalist approach proposed by faculty students. We noticed at times that they would wait for students to leave to rearrange things in their own order. The research methods encompassed observation and direct examinations of the displays, interviews and feedback sessions with students, business owners, and clients provided additional qualitative data. With 10 years on, I would say that the most revealing instrument was observation. Why? Because one thing was what people told us, quite another was what they did. Shop owners had sometimes a repertoire of prepared speech and layouts, even for the TV interviews. But then in the intimacy of their shop, it all went down to the same way that it was 50 years ago. This is Casa Lima, a shop that meanwhile has closed down. This shop sold leather articles from bags to belts and purses. They were, I would say, the most optimistic with the initiative. They contributed very well with the students. They were happy to take part. But things turned sour after a few days of having the new designed shopping window on and with little shopping movement. They came to us and said that they had to redo in their own style because there was hardly anyone entering the shop. We never found out if the problem was the decoration or the fact that this commerce is dying, as it did because the shop no longer exists. But for my part, I was happy that on that occasion, that change worked for them and they could ends meet. Also, a relevant exercise outcome is the community engagement as local shoppers came together, lending objects and fostering a sense of community. It was agreed that shop owners would spend a maximum of 20 euros in the revamp decision. Casa Natal, this is Casa Natal, and Natal means Christmas in Portuguese. This is a grocery shop famous for selling salted codfish, which is the national recipe for Christmas dinner in Portugal. This is a typical non-negotiable codfish Christmas shopping window. In this kind of historical shops, the more is the merrier. If you have 30 cods, you have to show them. minimalism doesn't bring home the bacon. Revisiting the study a decade later reveals not only the positive impact of the 2014 pedagogical exercise, but also its enduring relevance. The COVID pandemic brought, for the wrong reasons, another interest in street shopping and avoiding shopping malls, and we have seen a surge in this kind of shopping again. A Costa Real, a shop selling umbrellas, bags, purses, and more. They have an amazing basement, and this is a case study in which the growing relationship between the shop owner, students, and now I dare say some clients made it possible to achieve this work. The lessons learned from this initiative continue to resonate, advocating for the importance of community engagement, practical skill development, and the positive impact of design education on local economies. In terms of learning experience for the students, I would say it was good and tough. Good in the sense that they had to face reality, a real client and a non-existent budget. It was tough because it was a difficult client that for 50 years has been doing the Christmas window the same, and the challenge that paradigm, a kid of 20-something, is not easy. A selection of comments from passers-by and clients by means of measuring the project acceptance. Along with the windows, they also proposed a diary that would be common to all the shops and would include images and relevant info of local businesses. The idea was to perpetuate that old business kind of thing where they wrap things with a thread and they do the bills with a pencil, but at the same time and in line with sustainability. They also promoted a carrier bag, also designed by the students and common to all the shops. And this was it. And revisiting this exercise 10 years on, learning from it and with new ideas in the mix, partly due to the writing of this article and putting this presentation together, maybe we can celebrate a decade of this by repeating it again in Porto. Thank you so much.